And right now, All Elite Wrestling is really killing it. They are really, really making headlines amongst the IWC and amongst the pro wrestling community. Because this past Wednesday night on Dynamite, just a few hours ago, AEW made two big debuts yet again. And you know my thoughts on this. I think that every single time they debut someone new, it just gets watered down because it seems like it's every week or every other week that someone new is debuting, that someone new is All Elite for AEW, for Dynamite, for Rampage, for a pay-per-view, whatever. It just seems like it doesn't really matter as much or as it should to have all these guys debut and actually make a big impact. And if you ask me, it doesn't really matter in terms of selling tickets or bumping the ratings or making an actual dent in the pro wrestling industry, because if guys like CM Punk and Bryan Danielson making their debuts for AEW and jumping ship, guys who were always WWE loyalty guys, making their debut for the rival, for the competition, if that didn't boost up ratings, if that didn't make a dent for them in their battle against WWE, then any other wrestler not named Hogan, Rock, or Stone Cold Steve Austin was not going to be as important, was not going to be groundbreaking. And, I'm a fan. I've already told you, I'm a fan of Keith Lee. I've been a fan since his time in NXT. He was double champion. He was the NXT champion. He killed it. And then he debuted on the main roster, and WWE just completely shit the bed. They did not know what to do with him. They didn't. They had a tried and true formula. How many times did they do that for Braun Strowman? A big muscle guy who could not go, who couldn't wrestle an inch of what Keith Lee is capable of doing in that squared circle. And they did that for Braun Strowman time and time and time again. And they gave Keith Lee a few props. They did. Survivor Series 2019, he was phenomenal in that elimination tag team match. And then at the 2020 Royal Rumble match, he went toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar, and Lesnar made him look strong, which doesn't really happen. So they had it right then and there. And then WWE tried to give him a gimmick. And that's where it all went to shit. You could look at current United States champion Damian Priest. Damian Priest was undefeated for 10 months. Damian Priest was winning matches left and right. Damian Priest was looking like a badass and like the next world champion in WWE. And as soon as they gave him his stupid anger management rage Damian gimmick, he starts losing matches. He starts losing them by count, by DQs. Starts making Damian Priest look like a joke. And that's not something you want. But hey, it's WWE. They can do whatever they want, and they're not being pushed by AEW yet. So that's on them. But as far as I'm concerned, Keith Lee and Jay White making their debuts for AEW on Dynamite. And we'll see what happens tonight on Rampage with both of these men possibly making an appearance. All I can say is they've added yet another two guys who can go in that ring, who have the name value to bring in fans, to bring in eyes, hardcore wrestling eyes, I should say, into their product and stick it to WWE. But do me a favor. Go to allelitewrestling.com or AEW.com. Look at their roster. Look how bloated it is. It is filled with talent. Filled with great talent. And about a third of that talent is not being showcased. They do not have time for them. They're just being kept under contract. They're either on Dark or Elevation or not even there in some cases. Some of their contracts are coming up. That's being reported on Brian Cage. How the hell do you not find something to do with Brian Cage? If you want to fault WWE for not doing anything with Keith Lee and AEW and WWE, then what the hell is AEW doing with the Machine, Brian Cage? What they're already doing with Lance Archer, he had a phenomenal... He just had a great Texas death match for the world title against Hangman Adam Page, and he lost, like I said he would. That's his third big loss. He can't win the big match. And guess what? After this, Lance Archer is going to be out of the picture. Not just the title picture, out of the picture completely in AEW for the next few months, like he always has, because they do not have enough time and enough titles and main event positions to keep all this talent around. And I'm not trying to sour this event for any wrestling fan out there, but the fact of the matter is, contracts are coming up, contracts will not be renewed, as Tony Khan has said it, and fans will be disappointed. And the narrative is going to be that, AEW didn't fire them. So it's different from WWE. They didn't fire them. Their contract ran up. They've signed all these new guys. They can't keep throwing money at it. And they had to go. And that's the narrative that the IWC takes with AEW versus WWE. And it's a narrative that I don't like. But other than that, congratulations to Keith Lee on his recent wedding to Mia Yim. Congratulations on his debut. Jay White, he's getting pretty busy. I mean, he debuted for AEW. I think he's making an appearance on tonight's show for Rampage. On Saturday night, he has, not next week Saturday night. At No Surrender, he's facing off against Eric Young. He's been working with Impact Wrestling. He's been trying to have Chris Bay under his wing. So Jay White's being pretty busy right now. So props to both of these men, and let's see what they have in store for them in the future for AEW. But what do you think? What do you think AEW is going to do with Keith Lee, with Jay White in the very near future? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions on the comment section below.